If you've ever felt your peace controlled by someone else, then you already understand the quiet pain this video is about. There is a kind of attachment that doesn't look like love anymore. It feels heavier than that. It shows up as overthinking at night, checking your phone for messages that never come, replaying conversations in your head, and slowly losing control over your own emotions. You tell yourself to move on, but something keeps pulling you back, again and again. This is where most people get it wrong. They think emotional detachment means becoming cold, distant, or heartless. But that's not what true detachment is. Real detachment is power. It's clarity. It's the ability to feel without being controlled, to care without losing yourself, to walk away without needing closure from someone who was never capable of giving it. This is the foundation of Stoicism, a philosophy built on one simple truth: you don't control what people do, but you control how deeply it affects you. Right now, someone has more influence over your emotional state than they should. Maybe it's someone you loved. Maybe it's someone who walked away. Maybe it's someone who still comes and goes, keeping you in a cycle of hope and disappointment. And the more you hold on, the more power you give away. But here's the uncomfortable reality most people avoid. You're not suffering because of them. You're suffering because of your attachment to them. And that's actually good news. Because if attachment is the cause, then detachment is the cure. In this video, you're going to learn how to take that power back. Not by forcing yourself to stop caring overnight, but by slowly shifting your mindset, your expectations, and your emotional dependence. You'll learn how to stop needing validation from someone who gives you inconsistency. You'll understand why your mind keeps going back to them, even when you know you deserve better. And most importantly, you'll discover how to free yourself without bitterness, without anger, and without losing your ability to love again. Because the goal is not to become numb. The goal is to become untouchable. A place where your peace is no longer tied to anyone's presence, attention, or approval. A place where you can walk away from anything that disturbs your mind, without hesitation, without guilt, and without looking back. If you're ready to reach that level of control, then stay with me. And if you want more content like this that sharpens your mindset, strengthens your discipline, and helps you take back control of your life, make sure you subscribe to this channel. Now let's begin. There is a moment that defines whether you stay trapped, or finally become free. It's not when they leave. It's not when they hurt you. It's not even when you realize they are not good for you. It's the moment you accept that you cannot control them. Most people never truly accept this. They say it, but deep down, they still try to change the outcome. They hope that if they say the right words, act the right way, or wait long enough, something will shift. They hold on to the idea that things could still become what they imagined. And that is where the suffering lies. According to Stoicism, there is a clear line that separates peace from chaos, the difference between what is within your control and what is not. You control your thoughts. You control your actions. You control your standards. But you do not control how someone feels about you. You do not control whether they choose you. You do not control their consistency, their loyalty, or their effort. And yet, most of your emotional pain comes from trying to control exactly those things. Think about it. Every time you feel anxious waiting for a reply. Every time your mood drops because of their behavior. Every time you replay what you could have done differently. What you're really doing is trying to manage something that was never yours to manage. This is why detachment feels so difficult. Because it requires you to let go of an illusion, the illusion that you can influence someone into becoming who you need them to be. But once you truly understand this, something powerful happens. You stop negotiating with reality. You stop chasing clarity from someone who creates confusion. You stop explaining yourself to someone who already decided how they see you. You stop waiting for effort from someone who is comfortable giving you the bare minimum. Instead, you shift your focus back to the only place it has ever belonged, yourself. Detachment begins when you redirect your energy. Not away from them out of anger, but away from them out of understanding. Because the truth is simple, even if it's hard to accept. If someone wants to be in your life, they will make it clear. If someone values you, you won't feel uncertain about it. If someone respects you, you won't have to fight for their attention. Anything else is confusion, and confusion is not something you need to solve. It's something you need to walk away from. This is where your power starts to return. Not when they change, but when you stop expecting them to. Not when they come back, but when you no longer need them to. Because emotional freedom is not about controlling outcomes. It's about controlling your response to them. And the moment you master that, you become untouchable. The next step is where most people hesitate, because it forces you to face something deeper than the other person. It forces you to face yourself. Because once you accept that you cannot control them, the question becomes uncomfortable. Why are you still holding on? Why do you keep thinking about someone who gives you inconsistency? Why does your mind return to them, even when your logic tells you to move on? The answer is not love. It's attachment. And attachment is not as pure as people think. It's often built on dependence, on habit, on emotional patterns that were formed long before this person even entered your life. This is something even the Stoics understood deeply. Epictetus taught that it's not events that disturb us, but the meaning we attach to them. You're not just attached to the person. You're attached to how they made you feel. You're attached to the version of yourself you were when things were good. You're attached to the future you imagined with them. And now that those things are uncertain or gone, your mind keeps trying to recreate them. That's why you replay memories. That's why you check your phone. That's why you feel a pull even when you know better. It's not them pulling you back. It's your own mind trying to return to what felt familiar. And here's the truth most people avoid. Familiar does not always mean healthy. You can be attached to inconsistency. You can be attached to emotional highs and lows. You can be attached to someone who never truly chose you, simply because your mind got used to the pattern. This is why detachment is not just about letting go of a person. It's about breaking the pattern. It's about retraining your mind to stop seeking validation from the same place that created your confusion. And that takes awareness. You have to start observing your own behavior without judgment. Notice when you feel the urge to check their profile. Notice when your mood shifts because of something they did or didn't do. Notice how often your thoughts return to them without your permission. Don't fight it immediately. Understand it first. Because awareness is what gives you control. The moment you can see the pattern clearly, you stop being controlled by it unconsciously. And this is where your power begins to grow again. You realize that your attachment is not proof that they are special. It's proof that your mind has been conditioned. And anything that has been conditioned can be unlearned. This is how you start detaching for real. Not by forcing yourself to forget them overnight, but by slowly removing the emotional weight you've placed on them. You stop romanticizing the past. You stop idealizing who they could have been. You start seeing things as they are, not as you wish they were. And that clarity changes everything. Because once you see clearly, you can no longer lie to yourself. And once you stop lying to yourself, you stop settling for less than you deserve. That's when detachment stops feeling like loss and starts feeling like freedom. There comes a point where you have to make a decision, not about them, but about yourself. Because awareness alone is not enough. You can understand the pattern. You can see the inconsistency. You can even admit that this connection is draining you. And still, remain stuck. Why? Because detachment is not just mental. It is behavioral. It's not what you know that sets you free. It's what you consistently do. This is where discipline enters the picture. Not loud, dramatic discipline, but quiet, uncomfortable choices that slowly break the cycle. You stop checking their profile, even when the urge is strong. You stop rereading old messages that keep you emotionally tied to the past. You stop creating imaginary conversations in your head where everything finally makes sense. And at first, it feels unnatural. Because your mind will resist. It will tell you. Just one more look. It will convince you. Maybe this time things will be different. It will remind you of the good moments, while conveniently ignoring the confusion, the inconsistency, and the emotional cost. This is where most people lose. Not because they are weak, but because they don't understand what's happening. Your mind is going through withdrawal. You've become used to the emotional stimulation this person gave you, the highs, the anticipation, the unpredictability. And now that you're pulling away, your brain is trying to pull you back into the same cycle. This is why detachment feels uncomfortable. But discomfort is not a sign that you're doing something wrong. It's a sign that you're breaking a pattern. And patterns don't break without resistance. This is where you have to become intentional. You don't wait until you feel like moving on. You act in alignment with the version of yourself that already has. You create distance, not to punish them, but to protect your peace. You reduce unnecessary contact. You remove triggers that keep reopening emotional wounds. You stop putting yourself in situations where you know your control will be tested. And slowly, something begins to shift. The thoughts become less intense. The urge becomes weaker. The emotional grip starts to loosen. Not because they changed, but because you did. This is the quiet power of detachment. You're no longer reacting. You're no longer chasing clarity. You're no longer placing your emotional stability in someone else's hands. Instead, you're rebuilding control from within. And as that control grows, so does your self-respect. You begin to realize something that changes everything. You don't actually need them. You were just used to them. There's a difference. Need comes from survival. Used to comes from habit. And habits can be replaced. This is where your standards begin to rise. You stop tolerating inconsistency. You stop making excuses for behavior that doesn't align with your values. You stop accepting half effort while giving your full energy. Because now, you see clearly. Not through emotion, but through truth. And the truth is simple. Anything that costs you your peace is too expensive. Once that understanding becomes real to you, detachment is no longer something you struggle with. It becomes something you choose. There is a stage in this process where something unexpected happens. You stop missing them the way you used to. Not completely at first. It doesn't disappear overnight. But the intensity begins to fade. The thoughts don't carry the same weight. The emotional pull weakens. And for the first time in a long while, you start to feel space within yourself. This is where many people get confused. Because just as you begin to detach, memories return. Not the painful ones. The good ones. Your mind will suddenly remind you of the laughter, the connection, the moments that felt real. It will try to convince you that maybe you were too quick to let go, that maybe things weren't that bad, that maybe you should reach out one more time. This is a test. Not from them, but from your own mind. And if you don't understand this stage, you will fall back into the same cycle you just fought to escape. Because your mind is not trying to show you the truth. It's trying to preserve familiarity. It selectively edits the past to make it easier for you to return to what you already know, even if that place cost you your peace. This is why clarity must become stronger than emotion. You have to remind yourself of the full picture, not just the highlights. Remember how you felt when they were inconsistent. Remember the confusion, the overthinking, the emotional ups and downs. Remember how often you questioned your own worth because of how they showed up. Don't romanticize what you had. See it for what it was. This is what Marcus Aurelius practiced, the discipline of seeing things plainly, without adding illusion or emotional exaggeration. He understood that the mind can distort reality, and that true strength comes from perceiving things as they are, not as we wish them to be. And this is what you must do now. Not to become bitter, but to stay free. Because the moment you start lying to yourself about the past, you reopen the door you just closed. Detachment requires honesty. Not just about them, but about what you tolerated, what you ignored, and what you kept hoping would change. This is where your growth becomes real. You stop seeing them as the one that got away. You start seeing them as the lesson that woke me up. And that shift is powerful. Because lessons don't need to be chased. They need to be learned. Once you've learned what this experience was meant to teach you, holding on no longer makes sense. You don't go back to something that disrupted your peace just because it once felt good. You move forward, with awareness, with strength, and with a deeper understanding of yourself. And here's what you begin to notice as you continue this journey. Your mind becomes quieter. Your emotions become more stable. Your focus begins to return. You start investing your energy into things that actually grow you, instead of draining you. Your standards become clearer. Your boundaries become stronger. Your sense of self becomes more solid. This is the reward of detachment. Not loneliness, but alignment. You are no longer divided within yourself. You are no longer chasing something that pulls you out of your center. You are whole again. And from that place, everything changes. Because now, if someone enters your life, they are not there to complete you. They are there to complement you. And if they bring confusion, inconsistency, or emotional instability, You don't try to fix it. You walk away. Not out of pride, but out of self-respect. At this stage, something becomes very clear to you. Detachment is not about losing feelings. It's about losing dependence. You can still care about someone, and not allow them to control your peace. You can still remember what you shared, and not feel the need to go back. You can still wish them well, and choose a life that no longer includes them. This is emotional maturity. And it's rare. Because most people only know two extremes, holding on too tightly or cutting off with anger. But true detachment sits in the middle. Calm, steady, and controlled. No bitterness. No resentment. No need to prove anything. Just clarity. This is where you stop reacting to their actions entirely. If they reach out, you don't get excited. If they pull away, you don't feel anxious. If they try to come back, you don't feel tempted. Not because you're forcing yourself to act strong, but because you've outgrown the version of you that needed them. And this is where your power becomes undeniable. Because now, your emotional state is no longer tied to their presence or absence. You are stable, regardless. This is what the Stoics trained for, a state where external events do not dictate internal peace. Where your sense of self is not shaken by someone else's behavior. And this doesn't happen by accident. It happens because you've done the work. You faced the discomfort. You broke the patterns. You chose discipline over temporary relief. You chose truth over illusion. And now, you see things differently. You no longer chase attention. You no longer seek validation from people who are unsure about you. You no longer invest deeply in connections that don't meet you with the same energy. Because you understand your value. Not in a loud, arrogant way. But in a quiet, unshakable way. You know what you bring. You know what you deserve. And most importantly, you know what you will no longer tolerate. This is where boundaries become natural. You don't have to explain yourself repeatedly. You don't have to convince anyone to treat you right. You don't have to argue for basic respect. You simply observe and decide. If someone aligns with your standards, they stay. If they don't, they go. No drama. No emotional chaos. No second guessing. Just decisions. And this is the final shift that completes your detachment. You stop focusing on who left. And you start focusing on who you are becoming. Your energy moves toward growth. Toward purpose. Toward building a life that feels full, with or without anyone else. Because the truth is, the more you build yourself, the less you feel the need to hold on to anyone who doesn't add to that growth. And that's the ultimate freedom. You're no longer trying to be chosen. You're choosing yourself. Every day. In your standards. In your actions. In your mindset. And from that place, you become someone who cannot be easily shaken, easily manipulated, or easily distracted. You become someone who is grounded. Someone who is focused. Someone who is in control. And once you reach that level, you don't just detach from people. You detach from anything that threatens your peace. That is what makes you untouchable. And if this message resonates with you, and you want more content that helps you build this level of discipline, clarity, and emotional control, make sure you subscribe to this channel and stay connected. Because the version of you that is calm, powerful, and completely in control, is not far away anymore. It's already being built, one decision at a time.